Rhinos are generally gentle and keep to themselves, but they are definitely not pacifist. If they are threatened, they'll move their bodies into an attack stance and often charge in an attempt to get rid of the perceived threat. To understand what to do, however, it's important to look at their physiology and what behaviors may indicate their intent to attack. In this video, you will see top 12 chases and attacks by angry rhinos. Number 12. Rhino vs Bull. As humans, we know that just about any heavy animal with horns is a risk in our life. But what do they think about one another? Well, if this video is anything to go by, they're not all that crazy about one another. Let's see what happens when an angry bull meets a PO rhino. The match begins as you'd expect, with both animals locking horns and refusing to back down. But unfortunately for the bull, the rhino has a lot more mass and power to lift and push back its opponent. In fact, it doesn't take long at all for the rhino to get the bull on its back. Of course, this only makes the bull more determined to get up and finish the job. Eventually, the bull seems to recognize that the rhino will win no matter what he may be able to do in the animal kingdom. Mass always wins. While this fight doesn't occur much in the natural animal kingdom, there's absolutely no question that the rhino would win every single time against the bull. Sure, they both have some anger issues, but the rhino has all that mass. Number 11. Rhino attacks sapphire. Several people have had horrible experiences with these aggressive animals and had barely managed to escape. 24-year-old student Chantal Bear can testify to that, as she was on a safari trip with her boyfriend and they were taking pictures with rhinos in the background. You know, typical touristy stuff. But then they got a little too close to the rhinos and the rhinos ended up attacking them, leaving Bear with a punctured lung and broken ribs. Some videos show safari tourists encountering rhinos and the rhinos attack with no provocation. It feels like the mere sight of the tourist is enough for provocation of the rhinos, who ended up attacking their car with their sharp horns and more than one occasion had managed to overturn the cars. And in another, more scarier video, it shows a rhino attacking two men in an open buggy car. Number 10. Rhinos vs buffalo. The buffaloes and rhinos of the world are honestly ones that do go and interact from time to time due to the proximity that they live within one another. The problem here is that the rhino is one of the biggest and heaviest creatures on Earth. And when they start running, they're literally a tank. A buffalo, a water buffalo, in this case, is a powerful animal in its own rights and can hold its own against many different predators. But one of those beasts it can't go up against is a rhino, which makes it all the more interesting that one of these buffalo decided to go and charge up to a rhino and pick a fight with it. The rhino obviously used its advantage and kept putting the water buffalo down, which made it all the more interesting and sad when the buffalo just kept coming back for more. Seriously, no one to pick your battles. Number 9. Hippo vs rhinos. Typically found wading in water. The dirtier, the better. A hippo can be seen playing amongst a small group of rhino in the dark of night. The group seems to be minding their own business when the hippo sets his sight on one of them, starting to chase it around as if wanted to play a game of tag. The rhino isn't having it, and with a nip to its buttocks from the hippo starts to gallop away. If he thought the game would end there, he was wrong, as the hippo chases after him. Both animals are heavy-set, built to withstand a bit of a scrap with the other or an animal of similar build. But the rhino has had enough and turns to face the hippo. The hippo immediately opens his mouth wide, as if to appear bigger and tougher. In fact, it's almost like a mating ritual between the pair. Clearly sick of being harassed, the rhino butts him with his horn on the behind, sending him scampering off into the distance. Quite funny, really, considering he started it all. Number 8. Rhinos vs lions. It comes as a bit of a surprise that the king of the jungle would be afraid of any other animal, let alone a slow-moving rhino. But hey, life is full of surprises, isn't it? Two lions are sound asleep in their natural habitats, surrounded by trees, with birds whistling completely at peace and no doubt dreaming about their last meal. Unbeknownst to the pair, two rhino attempt to creep silently through the bush toward them. Whether the rhino know they're there, we're not sure, but it certainly comes as a surprise to the lions. Because of their size, the rhino can hardly sneak up on the lions, with branches snapping all over the show. Woken from their slumber, the lions are quick to make a hasty getaway as the larger of the two rhino runs at them, puffing, no doubt from the extra energy required. With the lions long gone, the two rhino can get on with their day chilling out with not a care in the world. Number 7. Elephant vs rhino. When these two come together, the elephant's trunk curls into an S shape. According to experts, this is a sign the elephant wants to play, indicating he wants to spar with the white rhino. The rhino, on the other hand, does not consider this behavior to be playful. The rhino senses danger and charges. The elephant reacts by grabbing a stick and hurling it at the rhino. African elephants have over 200 postures they use to express emotions ranging from aggressive to ambivalent. Rhinos will not back down from a confrontation with an elephant right away, but as soon as they have a sense of whether it will go their way or not, they will decide to flee. It's pointless to try to break through a wall. These two, on the other hand, don't appear to have a problem with one another. When a trio of elephants approaches this rhino and her calf, one of the elephants pushes the rhino aside. The calf is not harmed, but his presence irritates the elephant. The elephant even tries to hit the rhino with a fallen branch, but the rhino remains calm and firm. A man slams his truck in the background to scare the elephants away, and it works. This elephant chases a rhino and her calf away from this water hole, even though they don't move very far. It shows the rhinos respect the elephant and don't want to mess with it. Despite their size, African elephants outnumber rhinos as the world's largest land mammals. This gives you an idea of the elephant's strength. Elephants usually have the upper hand due to their size, but a rhino may occasionally push an elephant around. Number 6. Rhino versus human. You saw how fast a rhino can run in the previous video while this guy is being chased by one and he's lucky the rhino gives up after a few seconds. I guess he didn't have the stamina to pursue. But the rhino turns and crosses the road with many people present. How can this beast run? This massive rhino left the national park to go grab a warm latte, and on his way back to the park entrance, he met up with a few scared citizens. This intelligent man gets really close to these rhinos, and he's lucky one of the rhinos just lifts him up slightly and drops them. Both rhinos could have easily trampled him once he was on the floor, and he would have been killed. Number 5. Rhino versus car. Watch as this enraged rhino bull tries to attack annoying tourist vehicles to protect this cow and calf. This old bull had a previous encounter with poachers or other humans. The video was shot in Kruger National Park. These two were on their honeymoon in South Africa's Chalad Game Reserve when these two rhinos chased their vehicle for over 2 km. They had a game guard protecting them from poachers 24 hours a day who had to try and keep up with them on foot. You can see them chasing them at the very beginning of the video trying to keep up, but they were running at about 30 km an hour. It is unusual for a rhino to chase a car because their vision is poor and they tire easily, so they were fortunate to capture this on video. These rhinos are inspecting this red car, and I just hope they don't get too close to it because it could be the end for the car. One of the rhinos bumps into the car with his horn, and it scares him and his friends away. Can you imagine how scary it must be to see a massive rhino like this one running straight for your vehicle? I know I would have my foot on the gas pedal in seconds. This rhino runs into this white SUV and rams it with its horn. The driver decides to leave when he thinks the rhino may strike again. What a great idea. This rhino does not appreciate this vehicle getting too close, but he doesn't charge it. You can see how fast rhinos can run when this rhino chases a Jeep. This is no laughing matter. Should you ever think you can outrun a rhino? Think again. This small car gets the beating of a lifetime when this rhino plays with it like it was a Hot Wheels car. This is a complete demolition job by the mighty rhino. I just hope there was no one in the car during this massacre. Number 4. Rhino versus hyena. This sight can be seen from two perspectives. One rhino is a strong mother who protects her young, and two hyenas show off their hunting abilities. The white rhino twirls to keep them away from her child, who is too young to fend for itself. The hyenas are excellent at putting them to sleep. When the baby rhino bolts, his mother and the two hyenas pursue him. According to the filmmaker, the rhino family escaped and is safe and well. This rhino mother stands her ground against a pack of hyenas and two lions. The lions are malnourished and one of them is injured. I'm surprised the hyenas haven't attacked the lions by now. There's also an elephant nearby. The rhino calf is most likely dead, and the mother does not want any of her enemies approaching it. Number 3. Rhino versus rhino. At a game reserve in southern Africa, a young white rhino suckles its mother. When a large bull rhino appears, the atmosphere changes. In an instant, the bull begins spray marking its territory around the mother and calf who are still nursing. Following that, the calf is attacked. The bull hurls the calf into the air and the calf's mother rushes to its aid. The bull turns on the mother as the calf flees for safety, forcing her backwards and lifting her front legs off the ground. The fighting duo collides with one of the observer's cars, causing him to flee. As the terrified calf orbits the conflict, the mother finally flees down the road, away from the camera on the bull. This appeared to be a territorial dispute. The male spray marking was the telltale sign white rhinos, or solitary creatures who fiercely guard their territory. Females, on the other hand, are not, and they frequently migrate outside of male-claimed territory. These two rhinos compete for territory in a rhino calf, and it's clear that one rhino is stronger than the other. The pushing and shoving continue for a few seconds before the stronger rhino pushes the other rhino into the water, thereby continuing the attack. These rhinos appear to be practicing a new dance, but the truth is they are fighting viciously, and the fight is most likely caused by the young calf that was present at the time, or perhaps it is territorial. The rhinos' head-to-head battle continues as they attempt to determine a victor. This rhino's territory is marked by him urinating on the ground. When rhinos take a leak, it's obvious it's more like a shower. I'm not sure what this rhino is doing, but he appears to be having fun rubbing his tummy against this boulder. Number 2. Rhino versus cheetah. Cheetah has evolved by foregoing raw power in favor of speed. They don't have the equipment to bring down large prey because they lost all that extra weight to be fast. Cheetahs are light and strong predators that only hunt small antelopes, such as Thompson and Grant's gazelles. An adult zebra is too large for cheetah to attack. The zebra is roughly 5 times the weight of the cheetah. Some zebra species weigh 9 times as much as a cheetah. As a result, a cheetah is completely outmatched by a rhino. The black rhino, Africa's smallest rhino, can weigh up to 2 tons, which is 20 times the weight of a cheetah. A rhino will be attacked by entire prides of lions that weigh 4 to 5 times as much as a cheetah, and they can't even bring down a rhino. I'm not sure what this cheetah is doing hissing at this rhino, but I'm guessing its cubs are nearby and it's doing what any good mother would do, protecting her cubs. The cheetah is simply redirecting the rhino so it does not approach her cubs. Number 1. Rhino versus zebra. I don't know who the genius is that decided to put a zebra in a small enclosure like this with a massive rhino, when the rhino flanked the striped horse and tossed them into the air a few times. The poor zebra had nowhere to run, and with all those strikes, I'm pretty sure some of them perforated the zebra's skin. I'm even surprised the zebra was able to get back up the way he did after so many strikes. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of the top 12 chases and attacks by angry rhinos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think.